I'm going to stay seated. Make it informal. Portia, you know, the things that I talked about here, we have to do.
That you can't remember?
Didn't start with, even back to Eric Garner, I Can't Breathe.
That was
For
Floyd.
a long time.
George Floyd.
I mean, literally, for years. And the one thing I think we have to acknowledge, my mom used to have an expression. My mom would say, you want to know me? Come walk in my shoes a mile. Well,
he has no clue what he's saying.
Even though I've been involved with the African American community in the civil rights movement since I've been a junior in high school.
Yeah, you've been involved. Didn't you want segregation?
I can't understand what it's like to walk out the door or send my son out the door, my daughter, and worry about just because they're black they may not come back. I can't really, I can intellectually understand it, but I can't feel it. I just spent an hour or more with the family as I got off the airplane. I had an opportunity to
he can't remember their names.
Time with Jacob on the phone. He's out of ICU. We spoke for about 15 minutes. His brother and two sisters, his dad and his mom on the telephone. And I've spoken to him a lot before, but we spent time together with my wife. And he talked about how nothing was going to defeat him. How, whether
he's a rapist.
Or not, he was not going to give up.
He's a rapist.
We talked about a psalm in our church, Father, based on the 23rd Psalm. May he raise you up in eagle's wings and bear you on the breath of dawn until we keep you hold you in the palm of his hand and we meet again.
And that thing, right?
Well, I think, Alderman, what's been unleashed with a lot of people is they understand that fear doesn't solve problems. Only hope does. And if you give up hope, you might as well surrender. There's no real option. And as we talked...
to a rapist and somebody who defied the police.
She was on the phone. She wasn't with Jacob. She was in the same location. And as I said, his dad, his son, his brother, two sisters, and two family lawyers were there. And what I came away with was the overwhelming sense of resilience and optimism that they have about the kind of response they're getting. His mom talked about, my wife asked to say a prayer. And
his mom talked about what?
His mom said a prayer.
His mom asked what, though? Was what you were going to say?
For Jacob, and I'm praying for the policeman as well. I'm praying things change. If you think a little bit about where we are right now, it's been a terrible, terrible wake-up call that's gotten the rest of the nation to realize that it's a confluence of three things. One, the COVID crisis. Two, and we didn't have to have over 6 million people contract COVID, over 186,000 dead and climbing.
It's going to continue to climb, you idiot.
It's been pointed out by the University of Columbia Law School that if he had acted just 1 week earlier, 37,000 more people would have been alive.
Law school?
2 weeks earlier.
Columbia Law School?
Maybe 31 or 57 or 50.
Law schools know about COVID now? And
over 80,000 people would still be alive.
You just said 30,000 people.
You have to take responsibility if you're a leader, a president.
He did. What is he supposed to do? If you've been president, there'll be nothing that can be done.
It didn't happen on my watch. I take no responsibility. I think the country is much more primed to take responsibility because they now have seen
I'm recording.
what you see. But you don't experience it the same way you do, Portia, because they're not a bright young black woman with 2 kids here. There's 2 or 3 children. That's your 3 children.
Twins and another one.
But there are changes that are
I remembered it.
in the country, and one of the problems is
The other one was the son.
that, look, this is not...
Problem in the country is what?
It's really not about me.
You said there's a problem in the country.
4 years.
What's the problem in the country?
We have 4 years of the exact same thing, only it's going to impact us for a couple generations. So many things they either are fully unaware of or aware of but never registered with them. Over 80,000 people would still be alive.
8,000 people? A minute ago it was 30,000. Let's go back, folks.
As well.
You know what? I'm going to stop here and start a new one.